this is Plumbing Arithmetic Part 1 playlist, 1000 questions and answers multiple choice quiz. Video tutorial questions number 1 to 20. This is brought to you by University of Cebu, Civil Engineering. 1. For any two triangles, if an angle of one triangle is congruent to an angle of the other, and if the two sides of one triangle are proportional to two sides of the other, they are what kind of triangles? A. Complementary, B. Supplementary, C. Similar, D. Dissimilar. C. Similar. Number 2. An angle inscribed in a semicircle is always A. Unaligned, B. More than 90 degrees, C. Less than 90 degrees, D. 90 degrees. D. 90 degrees. Number 3. A factor repeated to produce a power is A. Numerator, B. Square, C. Quotient, D. Root. D. Root. 4. A polygon with 10 sides is A. Dodecagon, B. Ondecagon, C. Decagon, D. Tendecagon. C. Decagon. 5. Two triangles having the same vertex and the side of one is the prolongation of the side of the other is A. Acute angle, B. Scalene angle, C. Obtuse angle, D. Vertical angle. D. Vertical angle. 6. The volume of the cube is equal to the cube of the measure of its A. Angle, B. Corner, C. Edge, D. Diagonal. C. Edge. 7. If each two lines is perpendicular to the same line, then the lines are A. Perpendicular, B. Parallel, C. Tangent, D. Converging. B. Parallel. 8. It is the branch of mathematics dealing with integers and more generally numeral computation. A. Algebra, B. Trigonometry, C. Geometry, D. Arithmetic. D. Arithmetic. 9. The power to which a number is raised is indicated by a small superior figure called A. Logarithm, B. Increment, C. Exponent, D. Mantessa. C. Exponent. 10. A number that could be divided exactly by 2 is A. Real, B. Odd, C. Integer, D. Even. D. Even. 11. A space that is devoid of matter and which the pressure is 0. A. Black hole, B. Outer space, C. Vacuum, D. Inner space. B. Outer space. 12. Decrease in the value of a physical property due to the passage of time. A. Inflation, B. Depletion, C. Recession, D. Depreciation. D. Depreciation. 13. We may classify an interest rate which specifies the actual rate of the interest on the principal for 1 year as A. Nominal rate, B. Rate of return, C. Exact interest rate, D. Effective rate. D. Effective rate. 14. The ratio of the interest payment to the principal for a given unit of time and usually expressed as a percentage of the principal. A. Interest, B. Interest rate, C. Investment, D. Rate. B. Interest rate. 15. Additional information of prospective bidders on contract documents issued prior to bidding date. A. Defect, B. Escalate, C. Assessment, D. Bid bulletin. D. Bid bulletin. 16. The acceleration is blank the mass of the object. A. Directly proportional to. B. Inversely proportional to. C. Directly proportional to the square of. D. Directly proportional to the square of. B. Inversely proportional to. 17. Reduction in the level of national income and output usually accompanied by the fall in the general price level. A. Devaluation. B. Deflation. C. Inflation. D. Depreciation. B. Deflation. 18. It is a series of equal payment occurring at equal interval of time. A. Annuity. B. Debt. C. Amortization. D. Deposit. A. Annuity. 19. The place where buyers and sellers come together. A. Market. B. Business. C. Recreation center. D. Buy and sell section. A. Market. 20. A market whereby there is only one buyer of an item for which there are no good substitute. A. Monopsony. B. Oligopoly. C. Monopoly. D. Oligopsony. A. Monopsony. That's all for Plumbing Arithmetic Part 1 playlist 1000 questions and answers multiple choice quiz. Video tutorial questions 1 to 20. This is brought to you by University of Cebu Civil Engineering.